Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Sweat Equity. Today, I've got something that's kind of a surprise for me and for the channel, I guess. Um, there's been a car that I've had my eye on for about 3 years now. So before I started the YouTube channel, um, that it is only 1.5 miles from my house, and it is the car is over 70 years old, and it's been sitting since 1988. The car was part of an estate. The grandparents, so to speak, are deceased, and everything in the estate was kind of held up for a while, something like that. And now everything is clear, and basically I can have the car, essentially for scrap value, so a couple $100. So I just pulled up, and I basically just wanted to film exactly how it sits. I'm looking at it right now, and it pretty much looks like how I remember it. So we're gonna get out here and take a look. Hi, Sadie. How are you, pup? You making sure everything's okay over here? So here it is right here. This is a 1951 Studebaker Champion sedan. And you can see right here, this is actually more faded off than it was 3 years ago. But 1988 is when the registration ran out. And it was driven to this spot. They had a few other cars up here, supposedly. Evidently there was some sentimental attachment to this car by someone in the family, so they held on to this one and they got rid of the rest of them. So it's a complete car, and I'm gonna just kind of look at it here. We're gonna look at it together again. I have not seen this car for 3 years. Got some stickers on these bushes here. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it does have that hubcap. I think I took that off to, I think I aired up the 2 tires on this side. But the body is actually pretty straight. It does have a lot of rust underneath. I'm hoping, I don't know what the condition of the frame is going to be. Looks like a lot of trees have fallen on it. These weren't here, but it looks like it didn't take out the windshield. Thank God. I think all the glass is good on this thing. I did turn over, let's say, got the antenna, but that's not a big deal, I guess. I do remember spinning over the engine 3 years ago. It took a little bit of effort, but it wasn't much. Yeah, it's pretty much how I remember it. The floor is gone. The seat is, gone. I mean, you could put a cover over it. And it is an automatic. I think most of these cars were manuals, but this was one of the first automatics in a car, if I remember. I obsessed over this thing, 3 years ago, so I kind of learned a lot about it. Headliner is pretty much all just missing. I think it was just torn up by mice and stuff. But as far as I understand, the car has been in this family since new, and I believe that says 90,000. Just so cool how the thing was laid out. You can see there's a little bit more of the back seat left. There's a dome light all the way up in the very rear window. But yeah, it looks like all the glass is still good. Really not any, like, look at that, the door still shuts, you know? It's pretty cool. The biggest reason that I kind of like this car, if I can get up here without sticking myself, is this is one of the bullet nose Studebakers. They only made these for 2 years. So it has this front end, which is kind of desirable as far as what I learned. It's got both headlights still there, bumper is still there. We're gonna have to cut some things back here to get to this thing. I'm kind of just come over tonight just to give it a walk around and just kind of see what I'm up against. Get a little wider shot here. But it's not a really big car. I mean, I don't know. I guess it is. It's tall, I guess. Taillights are good. Some nest down in there. I think I had the trunk open. Yeah. Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, I remember taking the fan off because I wanted to spin the motor over. That actually will stay up. Still got the original spare. I'm sure that's a bias ply there. There's the hubcap. Yeah, it's definitely got some speed holes. You can see daylight down through there. Get the tire wrench in there still. I guess this is how you open the trunk. Look at that rear window. This is so cool. I think the 50s had a split pane windshield, at least in the front, and the 51 got a solid, so it was a little bit of an upgrade, I guess. I don't think that the tree, yeah, the tree's not actually really touching it, it's just really close to it. And I'm sure this tree has grown up completely since this car was parked here. So that might be a little bit of a challenge to get it away from there, although I think we could probably do it. It's only on this side, really. This side has plenty of space. Yeah, I can't really even get over to this side at all. But there's a hubcap there. I see a hubcap on that one. So we have all the hubcaps. Not that I would necessarily use them anyway, but it's cool to have them. All those kind of things are worth something. But yeah, I got to bring over my chainsaw just to cut all this stuff away. I'm going to try to get this thing jacked up to where I can get the wheels off. I have a set of, I think these are 15-inch tires, if I remember. So I got a set of used 15-inch tires. I'm going to try to throw in the rims and try to free up the brakes. But it's probably about as much as I'm going to be able to see here tonight. I'm coming over after work, so. Go got the mirror there. Does it have it on the other side? I'm not sure. And the air cleaner is inside. That is one of the issues, is that the top of the carburetor was open. But if I remember the last time, it was not the oil level looked good, so it didn't look like it had taken on a lot of water. I'm gonna try to open that right now. I think all the hinges are just need to be lubricated, or just open really slowly. There's not much left of the floor. So I don't know how I don't know how much I can save of this car. I hope I can make it run and do something with it, but I just don't know yet. You can see the frame right there. I mean, right there it looks pretty good. They do sell patch panels for the floor on eBay, so can do that. I think they even sell pre-made seat upholstery for these things too. But yeah, now that I see what I'm up against, I'll kind of be a little more prepared for tomorrow. I really like to get around to the other side, but there's just really no easy way over there because all these things have like stickers on them. Kind of wanted to see the front a little bit better. Oh well, eventually we'll see it. All right, guys, we'll be back over in the morning. All right, guys, it's the next morning. I'm back over at the Studebaker. My plan today is just to kind of clear away the branches and growth that's around the car. I try to get the wheels off. I'm gonna try to just air up the tires first to see if I can just get it to lift up a little bit, and just try to see if I can get a jack under it anywhere, and just try to free it from its grave from the past 35 years. progress. I got this side up, I got this wheel off, this brake is locked up obviously. I'll hit it with a hammer here in a minute. I'm a little out of breath for some reason, but from what I can see so far, the frame doesn't really look too bad. There's a lot of just like junk on here, like it's like mud, but from what I can see, it doesn't look too bad. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep working at it, and I'll come back when I find something. What I'm kind of trying to do, if I can get at least most of the rims off, I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to get that one out just because it's so close to the tree. I might be able to get in there though. Get all these off and just get jack stands under it enough to hold it up off the ground. I'll try to fill in the ruts a little bit, just so the car isn't just like fighting a losing battle trying to drag it out of here. Well, it's not exactly what I wanted to have happen. It fell off of the jack stands when I started jacking this one up. It did get it away from this tree, so that's positive, I guess. But now it's up against this one, which I think is much more yeah, they slid. And that's of course why you don't get under it when you're doing shit like this. I'll just see if I can jack up the back again and try to get them back up on there. Probably should have left that front wheel on, because now it's not, I mean, I still can probably get under there, like right back, we're in the same spot. I think I'm gonna try to get the back up on some stands first though. I don't know if I should try to cut this tree down or not. We'll see. city, so you're probably gonna not hear me too well. It took me about 3 hours, and that includes running back to the house and getting the like 18-inch square blocks that actually like support the weight of the car and don't just break and stuff. But there's 4 very old bias ply tires. 2 of those weigh way more than the other 2. I think these are ones on the front. Yeah, these weigh like nothing. I mean, just look at that. Look at that tread. That's so ancient looking. I'm not sure what the width is, but I'm pretty sure I can get a 195 65 15 on that rim. These are the ones that are on the rear. They had the, oh yeah, these are heavy. These are the diggers. You know, they're pretty much blown too. Could be the rim, but I think the rims are all the same. They all have these little marks like that. And spiders definitely like to make houses inside of hubcaps on these kind of deals, evidently. So definitely very sketchy. As you saw, I had to cut this tree down, but I was able to do that. I've lost a couple lug nuts because as soon as they hit the ground, they are gone. One thing to note about Studebakers, and I'm glad I had done my research, because I probably would have at least broken one of them. On the driver's side, they are reverse thread, so you're basically tightening them to take them off. So I can't switch the ones on this side to the other side, so I gotta keep. That's why I put them all back on the studs when I took them off. But I haven't done this yet. Let me do that. Well, I'll do that in a second. But the frame is not looking really that bad. I mean, yes, it's, you know, the sheet metal is definitely going to have some speed holes. This car is never going to be perfect, ever. But can I make the damn thing run and, you know, safe enough that it can just kind of tool around the country a little bit? I'm not probably ever going to drive this thing to work, although you never know. Right here, this bottom part is definitely a little crunchy, but it seems like the upper part, like up here, isn't too bad. See, it's got the drive shaft, the rear end is in it. I mean, like I said, it's complete. The son-in-law of the family drove the car over here somewhere around 1988 because he told me that the tags had expired. I think they only had the tags on it for like the 2 years. They got this and another Studebaker. I believe it was a Lark, from another family relative that had done kind of a, you know, scuff and shoot restoration on it, I guess you'd say. Pretty much like what I'm going to do. And he said it was a fully functional driving car. It was not a show car even then, although they did, I remember he told me something about they would, if they showed up to a like one of these car shows that you see where a whole bunch of guys pull up in the parking lot at like a, you know, grocery store or something, you know, they would give you a free pancake breakfast or something like that. And so they would take it and get their breakfast, have the car outside, you know. So I guess I did that a couple times with it, and once the tags expired, the grandpa, and this was the grandparents' house. Like, I'm out in the country, so there's just farmland. They own, I think they own a whole good bit of this property. This is just their actual house. And now my wife's good friend and her husband live in this house. That's the only reason that I know anything about this car. But okay, so the grandfather said, you know, there's too many cars in the driveway, the tags are expired on it, just go drive it around the side of the house over there. And the son-in-law, Stu, Papa Stu we call him, he told me, he said when he drove over here, he knew that was going to be it. It was going to end up sitting, and that would kind of be the end of it. And that's pretty much what happened. Just these things are worth like $500 on eBay. I mean, look, you know, all this stuff is I mean, yeah, it's pitted, but it's there. I mean, okay, I guess it's missing that parking light. It's got this one. There is no mirror on the side, but I don't even know if this car would have had a mirror. I mean, cars didn't really have passenger side mirrors back in the day, so it probably just doesn't have that. I'm not sure if I showed under the hood a minute ago. I guess I did, but there she is, the flathead inline 6, about 85 horsepower. I did spin this motor over by hand back 3 years ago without too much effort. I put some Marvel Mystery Oil in the thing in the spark plug holes and gave it a couple days, came back over, and it turned over. The I see the choke is closed. That probably is a good thing. Let me see here. It actually has a hood problem. I wasn't even gonna do this, but where's the dipstick at? Oop, falling into the hole. Oh, here's the dipstick. See? I don't know if you can see that. It looks good. The oil doesn't even look dirty. And it's not overfilled. If rainwater was getting into this thing all these years, this would look overfilled. I think this is the full line right here, so it's actually a little bit low, which I'm happy with seeing that. So that's a good sign, and the fact that it looks good. Where does this thing go back in? Over here. Yeah, so I'm not going to try to crank this thing here. I just, you know, wanted to get it out of here and get it over to my place, and then I'll start messing with it. First thing I was going to do is get a pressure wash, obviously. I'm going to probably try to see if I can free up the other brakes here today. I did get the other side to turn. It is a automatic, so it might be in park. I'm not sure how that works with these. And just the fact that the door still shuts nicely, it's not like, I mean, the hinges are good. There's no real seat to sit on, although I did bring, anybody in here? I don't think so. Let me get a couple. I brought a couple mats. I can make my own seat cover. Oh, come on. This video is probably going to be pretty long, but some of this is for me, just documenting what I do over the years. Unfortunately, the trunk was open, but when I went to close it, it got out of my hands and it slammed down shut and actually latched, and it doesn't open now. And I don't know if I have a key for this car. So that's a problem now. Not a huge problem. It's not going to really affect me getting it to my house. Maybe the key is in here somewhere. It's not in the ignition switch. I can see that. And you can kind of see, like, it had this black like vinyl over it. This was probably, I guess this was the original seat cover, maybe, or actually no, it's probably this. And the guy, whoever did the little restoration, put this kind of a basic vinyl cover over it, which is probably something like what I would do. Oh boy. Wow. It actually doesn't really smell bad. It just smells like dirt, which is what's in here. So one of the issues I'm going to have is the gas pedal actually is supposed to mount to the floor, and there's no floor here. So Yeah, I guess I can still moves. So I dare press, and the brake pedal is totally stuck. Yeah, there's no like keys above the visor or anything like that. Even the glove box is a key. Probably the high beam dimmer switch that seems stuck. The master cylinder I know is down here on the floor. It's right, I think it's this right here, which doesn't even have a top on it, so that's, well, that'll definitely have to be replaced. The radio, if that actually worked, I'd be amazed. It has like little preset buttons. Pretty cool. Rear view mirror just sits on the dash, and they just had their license plate in the front window like people do today if they don't feel like putting it on the front. Window sort of moves. This is probably the vent window. Alright, so I guess I'm just gonna see if I can make the, oh yeah, I was gonna see about the transmission. Yeah, it does have a park, so I guess it's in park. I doubt you had to put your foot on the brake in this day and age. I mean, I can remember even cars in the 80s, you didn't have to do that. But if it's stuck in park, it's not going to roll in the back, that's for sure. Although I can at least see if the brakes free up. Now this is probably the e-brake, which actually moves. I don't know how this, I mean, normally you would pull it towards you. Yeah, it just stuck. Because if it's back, it doesn't move at all. If we pull it down, it comes down a little bit. I don't want to break that. So, this thing may be getting dragged on a trailer, I don't know. I'm not going to crawl under this thing while it's here to try to free up this. I don't think. I'll have to just I think the next, yeah, it goes park, neutral, and I think reverses all the way over to the right. Remember, this is one of the first automatic transmissions, at least in like a, oh, there's another mirror. Huh. Cool. Sorry, I have ADHD evidently. That door does open. The floor is definitely gone over there too, although it's not as bad right there as this side is, unfortunately. This side is worse, which is more important than that side. But you can see all the wiring is just chewed. I mean, it may still all be connected, like it may not have been chewed through. So maybe if I just kind of wrap some tape around this stuff, I can kind of get it to some of the things to come to life a little bit. I really don't know. Most people would just look at this and just be like, this is just an absolute lost cause. But as a technician, as a mechanic, you can't do that. You have to look at one little thing at a time. You know, focus on that one thing, have tunnel vision, get that thing finished or fixed, then move on to the next thing. It might be an ashtray. All right, I'm gonna see if I can do something with these brakes. Or wheels, at least get them loosened up. So even though it's in park, I should be able to turn the wheels on the rear with it off the ground, because the differential should allow it to turn. You know the e-brake is not on. That one doesn't want to come too easily. I'll try the front. I was able to get the other side front freed up. Maybe the only ones we get going anyway here, I'm not sure. If we can't get out of park, then, you know. Yeah, this one just already turns. Alright, that one turns. I put these lug nuts back on. Gotta turn them to the left, put them on. Found the other one. Both fronts at least roll. Pretty sure it being in park doesn't affect the fact that they should both spin opposite directions if it's an open diff. I may let that be for today. I think I did pretty good for today. Just load up, I'm getting kind of hungry. So I got a couple things to look into, trying to figure out how to get this thing out of park. That's going to be probably the biggest challenge, getting it out of here. Just trying to drag it up on a trailer with the rear wheels not turning is not going to be, it's not going to be too fun. So when I get the get those in the bed of the truck, well, I get all this stuff from the truck, and I've got the other 4 tires at the house. All right, guys, I'm back over here at the Stude. It's a couple days later. I've had good progress today. I've got 4 tires that will go on it. I got the rear brakes to turn, and let me just show you that. So the other side will turn too, and if you notice, the drive shaft is also turning. That's because I was able to get this into neutral. I kind of worked my way down. I followed this down under the hood. Comes down here on the column, and then it's basically this right here goes down. So I just kind of lubricated everything. All I have right now is 3-in-1 oil, but I don't know, I guess it works. The door also opens easier. I lubricated the hinges on that. And then conveniently, the floor is non-existent right by the transmission. So I just kind of lubricated everything. I could see that this wasn't the part that was binding. Basically, it was the manual valve lever on the trans itself. But I kind of have enough access here. I just peeled back some more of the rotten floor and just kind of started hitting that a little bit. And I was able to get it down into neutral, although it doesn't really, you know, there's no like clicking happening. Maybe that's normal, I don't know. But down there, at least, when I turn this wheel now, the drive shaft turns. At least I know that everything is freed up and may roll. I mean, once it's got the way the car on, it'll roll easier than me trying to turn it right now. But any rolling is better than no rolling. One of the wheels I'm going to be putting on the back is going to be a donut, so it's going to have really little skinny, like no traction. So if that one wants to drag a little bit, it's okay. I have 3 of the original rims and tires, original rims, with a tire on it that will, you know, it's a relatively new tire that will hold air. What I did not know until yesterday, although I probably should have, is that these rims were designed for inner tubes, and the valve stem doesn't really fit. I had to like goop these up with bead sealer, and I also did that with the tires themselves. And 3 of them, well, I should say 2 of these are holding air without an inner tube and the valve stem. One of them was a slow leak. It leaked out overnight, so I could use it if I had to, but fortunately I had this, and this does fit on the rear. I don't think it'll fit on the front. I think the center hole is a little bit different size, but this will fit there. And I have 3 others that hold air for the rest. So I guess we're in pretty good shape. I was talking to Stu the other day. I haven't heard back from him today, but I mentioned to him just now that I was coming over to try to free up the wheels. I guess I'll just see when I hear from him, and we can come over and try to drag this thing out of here, I guess. I mean, I could probably drag it out with my truck, at least drag it over to this flat area where it's easier to back a trailer up to it. I think that having brakes dragging somewhat will help me in that situation, where I don't have to worry about it just rolling away or crashing into the front of my truck. I'll do it slowly. I'll probably put like a block of wood or something, or like that stump that I cut off near the rear tire, just so if it does start to roll, I'll kind of do it in increments or something. I'm not sure, but good progress. Looks like it's rolling. Looks like it's rolling, and it has enough brake drag to keep it from just wanting to stay rolling. turn the wheels a little bit now. Well, there's its grave from 1988 with a bunch of crap I just put under there. Oh, she's rolling a little bit, so I'm keeping that stump behind it. Alright, I think that's pretty good. Now she wants to roll. It actually did crash into the log that time, so I think that that's easy enough. We get back a trailer up to there, or at least have another person here to kind of guide it. But look at that thing, man. That's so cool to me. I've never seen one of these on the road before. I don't ever remember seeing one even at like a car show or anything. But extracted from the grave. I'm not sure if I'm ending this video here or not. Maybe I'll do the actually getting on the trailer, getting it to the house. But we got it out, we got it rolling. That's pretty good for me.